Hello, and welcome to this tutorial on how to route the outputs of Kontakt in Logic Pro. We're going to start with a blank track. So first, I'm going to create a software instrument with 16 parts, this multi-timbral instrument. The reason is because Kontakt can have a total of 16 MIDI tracks, so we're just going to create the maximum in case we need them all. We're also going to create them as ascending tracks. Okay, so we have 16 instrument tracks here. Now we're going to add an instance of Kontakt. And you'll notice that Kontakt has a couple of different options. We have mono, stereo, surround sound. But we're going to go with this multi-output 16 stereo. That will give us the maximum of instruments that Kontakt can handle. So we'll go ahead and select that. Alright, so you should get something like this with your instruments here on your left and a kind of a blank session. So first what we're going to do is we're going to set up our outputs. So go ahead and open your outputs and you should get something like this. You might not have as many outputs, but right now we're going to add those so that we can have a total of 16 and 4 aux tracks as well. So I'm going to go to add channels, make sure there's 16. And the number of channels, that's 2 because it's stereo. We're going to select 1 here because we want them to go in ascending output order. And then also we're going to delete the channels we have and make this our default configuration. Okay, so you should end up with something like this, with a total of 16 stereo tracks with outputs 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and 5 and 6. You can also rename these if you want. I know some people like to rename them as output 1 and 2, 3 and 4. For now though, I think I'm just going to leave them as stereo 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6, etc. Okay. So we're going to start with the string section. So I'll go ahead and load just a 4-piece string section with viola, cello, and bass, and violins. Okay. So what's nice about Logic is those are already going to be set up. You can hear the violin, the viola, and we don't have to connect them to the right channels. They're already set up that way, which is really cool. So you'll notice that they're numbered. That's just what MIDI channel they are. So you'll see here on the left that as I click on the different ones, it'll say MIDI channel 1, etc. So we're going to rename these violin, viola, cello, and bass real quick. Okay, so those are working just fine. We got all our parts that we want so far. Okay, so we're just going to make sure these are working. Try the bass here. Okay, that works. Let's try the cello. Great, so all of those are sounding the way they should. You'll notice though that they are coming through the same auxiliary track. Viola is, cello is, and the violins and the bass. Ideally, we want all these on separate tracks. Logic makes that really easy, especially now that we've made a multi-timbral instrument. We can go ahead and just hit this plus sign for each auxiliary track that we want up to 16. Now, for now, we're only going to use 4, so let me get rid of these. Alright, and we're going to rename these as well. So I'm going to rename, and yeah, I'm going to get rid of these MIDI tracks too. Okay. So I'll rename this bottom one violin, and this other one viola, cello, and bass. Okay. So now that we got that, I mean, they're still not set up quite. So if we play, they'll still come out that first input, which we don't want. We want them to come out their own separate outputs. Okay, so we're going to open up Kontakt and change the outputs. You'll notice that the MIDI tracks are already set up. So 4 and 4, those correspond. And that happens basically automatically. We could change those if we wanted, but we're focused on the outputs. So we're going to change this one to stereo output 2 and cello as stereo output 3. and basis is stereo output 4. Okay, so now they should come out the right auxiliary track. Alright, there we go. So the bass is coming out the bass. That's what we want. The reason that is so that we can individually control the volume on each track and also send stems or freeze tracks to a mixing engineer if we have someone else mix our tune or whatever. Well, that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit subscribe and like. Also, let me know if you want to see any particular video or tutorial. If this video is helpful, check out my other videos on setting up outputs in VE Pro and making a film scoring template. Thanks. See you soon.